When it comes to long-term commercial leases, dilapidations can often feel like a distant issue, something you don't need to worry about until the lease is nearing its end. However, failing to consider dilapidations obligations early on can result in unexpected costs and disputes when it's time to hand the property back. Whether you're a tenant or a landlord, understanding how to plan for dilapidations throughout the lease term can help you to avoid costly surprises. The earlier you start planning for potential dilapidations issues, the better. I'm Tim Clarke, Chartered Building Surveyor and Managing Director at Clarke Chartered Surveyors. I'll be looking at how to proactively plan for dilapidations in a long-term commercial lease. The first step in planning for dilapidations in a long-term lease is to fully understand the repair and maintenance obligations outlined in the lease agreement. The terms of the lease will clearly define your repairing obligations. Does the tenant need to keep the property in good repair throughout the term? What specific repairs or maintenance are you responsible for, both during the lease and at the end of the term? End of lease condition requirements. The lease may specify that the property must be returned in a certain condition, often referred to as the yield up clause. This might include reinstating alterations or ensuring that the property meets a certain standard of repair. Reinstatement clauses. If any alterations or improvements were made during the lease, check whether they must be reversed before the lease ends. Often the tenant is responsible for putting the property back to its original state unless otherwise agreed. A solid understanding of these terms will give you a clear picture of what's expected to you at the end of the lease and will help you to manage and budget for dilapidations issues throughout the lease term. Proactively maintaining the property throughout the lease term is one of the most effective ways to plan for dilapidations. If you're the tenant, ensuring that the property is well maintained will reduce the likelihood of having to carry out expensive repairs at the lease end. For tenants, you should regularly inspect the property and address any maintenance issues when they arise. Simple things like fixing leaks, repainting walls, or servicing heating and cooling systems can prevent more significant issues from developing later on. For landlords, it's important to conduct your own regular inspections to ensure that the tenant is fulfilling their obligations. Address any issues early to avoid a large-scale dispute when the tenant vacates. The use of repairs notices and interim schedules of dilapidations throughout the lease term could be helpful. Dilapidations claims can sometimes be unexpected and costly, especially at the end of a long-term lease. Both tenants and landlords should prepare financially for these potential costs. For tenants, it's wise to start setting aside money throughout the lease term to cover potential dilapidations costs. Regularly reviewing the state of your property and the lease terms will help you to estimate how much money you may need to set aside for repairs or restoration. If you have a sinking fund in place, this can be a great way to cover any future expenses relating to dilapidations. Similarly, landlords should plan for dilapidations claims by setting aside funds to repair any damage once the tenant vacates. If you know that the tenant is responsible for certain repairs but they fail to carry them out, it's good to have a financial cushion in place to cover the costs of bringing the property back to its original condition. Planning ahead financially can help reduce the stress and impact of dilapidations claims when the lease ends. There is some debate about recording dilapidations provisioning under FRS 102. We can work with your accountant if necessary to help you reduce your corporation tax liability through correct provisioning. One of the most effective ways to avoid disputes over dilapidations at the end of a long-term lease is to have a schedule of condition prepared at the beginning of the lease. This is essentially a detailed record of the property's condition when the lease starts, which can be referred to at the end of the lease to assess any damage or changes that have occurred during the tenant's occupation. A schedule of condition can help protect tenants from unfair claims. It establishes a baseline for the property's state when they move in, so you can't be held responsible for pre-existing disrepair. For landlords, a schedule of condition serves as a useful reference for when a tenant vacates. It makes it easier to identify which areas of the property need attention and whether the tenant has made any alterations or met their repairing obligations. Many tenants make alterations to a property during the course of a long-term lease. While these changes can benefit the tenant, they might come with obligations to reinstate the property to its original condition when the lease ends. If you're a tenant that's made alterations, whether these are structural changes, additions or improvements, check your lease to see if you're required to restore these back to their original state, and if so, make sure you budget for this work. For landlords, if a tenant has made alterations, be sure to review these changes and check whether the lease requires them to restore the property to its original state. Keep track of any alterations throughout the lease so that you can hold the tenant accountable when the lease comes to an end. Ideally, alterations should be licensed to ensure that you retain control at lease end when it comes to reinstatement. Perhaps 1 to 3 years before lease end, both the tenant and landlord should start preparing for the handover. Having open communication early on about potential dilapidations issues will help to reduce surprises on both sides. When it comes to dilapidations, both landlords and tenants can benefit from expert advice throughout the lease term. Engaging with an expert dilapidations surveyor early on can help identify potential issues that may not be immediately apparent and assist with planning for dilapidations. Nearing lease end, dilapidation surveyors can really add value and assist the parties in strategising to ensure that their dilapidations losses are minimised. At RICS Chartered Surveyors, we offer expert guidance to both tenants and landlords on navigating the complexities of dilapidations in commercial leases. If you need assistance with dilapidations planning, surveys or negotiations, get in touch with us on 020 8153 1233.